Uh, Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon.
No, you're quite right in saying good morning.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening for you. Yeah, to you too. I'm in Western Australia, so we're still morning. We're just waiting for the rest of the class to arrive. That's great. That's great, Earl. Thank you. Yeah, super. I just love that tone of green. Eh? That shirt is lovely. Ah, I can't hear you. Sorry, you got your mic off. Okay. But you can leave your mic on, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Maybe isn't the right time for you.
Except I can hear some background talking somewhere. Okay. Ah, what a view, huh? What a view.
Good dreaming.
And why not? Yeah. So what part of the world do you live in, Earl? Where do you live? Earl, can you hear me or not? Ada, hello, good evening. Ada, hello, 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 can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you, very well. And how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah, almost forgot about the class. Got ready for bed, and then I remembered.
What's it, 11 p.m. there?
Yes, it's 11.
Yeah, we 11 a.m.
It's 11 p.m. here. I'm in Newport News, Virginia.
Okay, yes. And so you stayed up for a reason. What did you want to get out of this class, Ada?
Everything is Zooming now. I just wanted to learn about Zooming because I don't know that much about it. I just know how to join a meeting, and very little else do I know about it.
Okay, okay, good. Joan, how are you? Okay.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you, Michael.
Yes, nice to meet you too. I see you in Florida, are you?
Yes, and where are you?
In Western Australia.
Oh, how fun. Wow.
Yeah, it's 11 a.m. here.
Well, that makes sense now why you schedule classes that end up being 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US.
Yeah, that's true. Although we don't schedule our own classes, you know, they get set up, schedule them for us. But I'm glad you're still up there. All right. We did have about, I think, 15 or 16 scheduled, but perhaps they've all fallen asleep. Okay, waiting for the class. Ada, did you nearly fall asleep? Did you?
No, I just got ready for bed,
Okay.
but I hadn't fallen asleep yet. I don't used to go to sleep until after 12 or so.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do, because we never know how many people have fallen asleep and don't join the class. So I think we're going to make a start. I'd just like to know from each of you, maybe Ada, seeing you the last one that spoke, you want to just get an overview of from what you said earlier on Zoom and sort of be able to use it a little bit more other than Link. Is that right?
Right, yes. That's
Okay.
right.
And Duan, do I pronounce your name correct?
It's like the boy's name, Dwayne.
Duane. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I hope I remember that. Duane.
Well, like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Okay. Okay. Duane. Okay. Tell us what you want out of the class.
So I've done hosting of Zoom, but I do recognize there's beginning stuff of Zoom that I probably don't know. So that's why I signed in.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is an introduction to Zoom. It is a beginning. So, but please ask questions. I'm happy because I will be next month. I'll be doing more advanced Zoom as well. So so feel free to ask the questions. You've stayed up this late, you deserve them. And Earl, what do you want out of this class? What are you looking for in the basic Zoom?
Oh, get more information about it. I've watched the class a couple of times, but more refreshing on it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what I intend doing is I'm going to do some slides first, and then I'm going to take you live into the Zoom that we're using right now. All right. And that would be where we're heading to. Okay. So it's a bit of an experiment for me as well. But let's see. Can you all see my screen? That's the main. Just say yes, because only a few of us.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So we go through some of the basics of Zoom. As you can see from the screen, my name is Michael Plumstead, and I live in Perth, Western Australia. And yeah, I enjoy researching and writing and gardening and being a father. Okay. And I love being a guide on Get Set Up as well. So that's a little bit of background about me. Also love business as well. Okay. So, Get Set Up, just a little bit about Get Set Up. We are a training company and we learn actually from each other. Okay, so with you asking questions and my trying to answer them, I'm going to learn, okay, because I'm just you, okay, that's all. I'm no specialist. I just use Zoom a lot, and so I can share what I can use, but you must also be prepared to ask the questions and interact. We will be recording this setup, and let me just, there we are, click the recording. So there we go. We will be also allowing you to get a copy of this recording because you joined the class. Unfortunately, those that fell asleep before the class can't request it. Okay? You've got to be here, even if it's only for a minute. Okay? And we don't get paid. Any Get Set Up, doesn't charge you. And if we promote a product, we don't get paid for that either. What I'm going to do is, you can see on your screen now, we're going to cover those basics, but I'm going to go just a little bit beyond the basics, and I'm going to go wherever you question me that takes us there, and to use the old Star Trek, we'll go where no one's gone before, despite the agenda. So please feel free to ask questions. So let's start with familiar territory. You all know how to click on a link and get into a class. Okay. Now, what would happen in a normal Zoom situation if you're going to host, you're going to send out an invitation along with Zoom. Okay. Zoom will put together the invitation. So the writing you see on the screen here is something that you would do who you're inviting, but Zoom will put at the bottom here, you see the Zoom meeting, okay? And there is a link to the Zoom meeting. Now, what I just need to point out to you, because this is a basic class, that built into the Zoom meeting, exactly where my cursor is now, the number starting with 724, if you look below, you will see 724 there. Each person who has an account with Zoom, and the account is free, okay, has a unique room with a number, exactly this number of numbers, okay, but your number will be unique. And you can decide whether to create a passcode or not, okay, and you can modify it as well. But this is what I want you just to focus on now. This is an invitation, because one of the things I'm going to be covering is how to send an invitation. But you now would just click on this as an attendee, and this would take you to a screen that looks like this, where it says join a meeting or sign in. So you can do either. Both of them will get you to the meeting. Sign in just means that if you have an account, okay, then they just want your email, and it makes good sense because there's a certain AI and storage within Zoom that makes things easier for you in the future. And so you just click on join a meeting and you get taken to a waiting room, assuming that there's a setting for the waiting room, okay? I'm not sure whether you actually were in a waiting room waiting for this meeting, okay, because that's something on Get Set Up side. They organize, and I am just the guide. So they sit in North America with some of you, and they then decide when people come in or don't come in, okay? So usually you would find something like you see on the screen now, waiting for the host to start the meeting, okay? And but underneath that, I want you to see, this is really interesting from a basic point of view. Test your audio. And this is something to get into a habit of doing. Click on test your audio, and this screen comes up, which shows microphone on the top left-hand side, and you would then click test microphone. You would click on test microphone, and what would happen is whatever you say to the microphone will show the input level. It'll come in and out, in and out, in and out over here, and go out when you stop talking and come back in when you sing a song to it. And you can then adjust the volume. Now, because it's a microphone, you don't hear yourself. So it's better just to click the automatic adjust volume there. Then Zoom will put your microphone there. So if you go in, you see often what happens is this is not clicked and people don't go and check, and then they struggle with their microphones, particularly in a class like this, where then the host can't hear you. And but that's how you would just tick, as easy as that, tick your automatic adjust volume. Then below that is the speaker. This, you click test speaker, and Zoom will then sing you a song, okay? And it'll come in and out. And because you're going to be listening to your speaker, you would then just adjust it here with this blue ball, just move it to the right to make it louder, okay? And that's worthwhile doing if you get into class a few minutes early, because this will only take you less than a minute to actually do. And so Then having done that, you then go into a class and you're in class. Another way is that somebody might just send you that URL, okay, that blue that we saw earlier on, and not a full invitation. Then you would click join and put in the room number. Okay, and we'll be seeing that too, still in the class. But now I want to show you when you've clicked that join, this is where you actually put in that room number, that unique room number. If that's all they send you, or if you're having trouble getting in, go to their, if you know who they are, you go to their room and put in that number, or go to your Zoom, the app you download, and put in their number in there. Okay, and then you can put your name in here. They might ask you there for a password as well, but that's getting into detail. Don't worry about any of these clicks, and just leave everything. Zoom defaults to the best that it thinks you can manage as a beginner. Okay, so that's how you would then join a meeting. Okay, now we're going to schedule a meeting. You see that blue on the left side. Let's just go back to that. There on the left, schedule. Okay, we're going to click on that because you will be scheduling meetings for people to come and talk to you, and you be their host. So this is what comes up when you click on schedule a meeting. Now you can do this from inside Zoom also, but it's also outside, because why go inside if you're only going to schedule now and then close down again? And perhaps you're scheduling for a week's time or so. So schedule a meeting, make the topic as clear as you possibly can. You know, this one has defaulted to a really bad topic, Michael's Zoom meeting, but people might want to know what's the meeting about, okay? And in this case, it was just one person. And so it was then just giving them actually a date that we were going to do this, and then give them something to click on, a link to click on. So you put in the start date, there's a drop down little arrow, and you just click on the date. Okay, nothing more, you don't have to type it in. And then the same with the time. Just click on the drop down menu. Don't worry about the duration, quite honestly, because if you've got a free version and you're hosting and it's only one person you're talking to, you can talk for as long as you like. But as soon as there's a second person joining the two of you, then you're are limited to 40 minutes. So regardless what you put here, if there's more than two of you in a meeting, it's 40 minutes, okay? Then if it's a recurring meeting, you would tick that. If you're going to have a meeting every week, let's say it's a Bible study and you're now going to host that, then you would put in recurring meeting. And then on the right of that, this is important, you need to put your time zone, okay? And so that the person who you're inviting understands the time, okay? Very important. All right, then it defaults to meeting ID number automatically. Leave all these security things unticked. In the beginning, as basic. It's when you start getting into a lot of detail, and we do have a class for detail too. But you now using Zoom on the free version, and there are 3 different paid versions, by the way. The free version is basic, and it's quite adequate for talking to friends, groups, churches, family groups. It's absolutely magnificent app for that. Okay, as you come down below, there's it defaults to that on the free version, and so again, you don't have to change it. And then whichever calendar you are using, I use Google Calendar, and then you just highlight the Google Calendar. Then it puts the scheduled meeting automatically into the Google Calendar, okay? And then Google Calendar would remind you. You can say whether it's a day in advance or 1 hour in advance or 5 minutes in advance, they must send you an email and let you know, or an SMS. And there are some advanced options, but again, they default to nothing, to not being ticked. So leave it like that. And so it's very simple. It's defaulting to everything you actually need, but you need to put in, of course, the date and your time zone and what the meeting's called. And then you click save. And now you have scheduled a meeting. Okay, I will show you what happens when you've clicked that. It goes to an email setting, and I'll show that when we go inside rather than show it to you twice. So now you want to host a meeting. Okay, just to recap, we've joined a meeting, okay, and we've scheduled a meeting. At this point, are there any questions? You have to unmute your mic. You can just, and also what you probably may not know is to unmute your mic. The quickest and easiest way is just to press down your space bar and then hold it down while you're talking. And then when you let go, it then mutes your microphone again. Otherwise, you can, in this class, you can leave your microphone on all the time, okay? And you can just chat if you have any questions, even when to interrupt. Don't wait for me to ask for questions, just interrupt. There's only a handful of us in the class. So let's get the question before you forget it. Okay, so now we're going to go click into a new meeting, and you go into a room like this. And so what I'm going to do now is I want to just stop with the slides, okay? And because we now need to go through all these, but I'm going to go through them live. But before I do that, because you won't see this, on the top right of your screen, you don't have that. Only hosts have what you see there, but you have a little square box that possibly has view on it. If you click that, you can click it now. You have various options of the pictures of people, or the space where pictures would be of people or videos. And you can say gallery view, then you get everybody. Otherwise, you can say speakers view, then you just get one picture of the person speaking, me or somebody who asked a question. Okay, and also remember, is that you can move the picture around on your device screen by moving it this way or that way with your finger. So if it's in the way of what you want to look at, let's say my cursor's up in the top right-hand corner and you can't see my cursor, just move your picture out the way. Okay, so very important basic information that's to move forward with. So you would click on view and you'd get something looking like this. Okay, whereas you might be on gallery, you want to just make it smaller. Okay. Or only show people that don't have their videos on. Okay, then to the right of your screen. Now, depending how big your screen is, you may or may not see this reactions button. Okay, if you can't see it, there are two reasons. One is your screen could be too small. And it's now sitting under more or under 3 buttons, okay, on your right-hand side, or your software may not be up to date, and you need to just go to Zoom and just let them check automatic. All you do is click on update, and it'll say you are up to date or it updates. Okay, so if you're doing it on an app on a phone, then just go to your store and click type in Zoom, Zoom will come up, click on Zoom, and it'll tell you it's updated or not. Okay, so the reactions, I've shown you that, okay, and you can use these now. This is when you click on reactions, this is what you get, okay, and so you can give me a sort of a thumbs up or a raise hand or you know, it's fun things. If I ask you a question like, you know, is my screen on or something, you could click on the thumbs up aspect of it. Okay, I have to quit going back every now and again. I know you can see yourselves on there, but you see when I'm sharing a slide, I can't see your faces. So I'm just checking up that you're still awake. Okay, so
Still awake.
okay, still no questions? You don't have any questions?
I have
Okay.
question, but it's about having two devices on at the same time, and I only want audio on one of them on, and I don't know how to do that, but I'm not sure that you want to go into that answer at this point.
Why didn't you just turn the one off?
What I did earlier on a different Zoom was I turned the volume down. Is that I couldn't find a microphone button to mute on the, it's a tablet. So I just turned down the volume. So it wasn't interrupting us auditorily.
Right, right. And what's your other device that you're using
Oh,
now?
the computer.
The
I
computer.
had computer on, and I added a tablet also. So what I probably should look for is the microphone in order to mute the microphone on the tablet.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not interfering. Yeah, you could do that. But I'm not clear why you've got the computer and the tablet on.
I was playing with that because in the future I wanted to do
Okay.
breakout rooms or playing a game or some different
Sure.
things.
Okay.
I was
So
playing with that.
and yeah, and it's interesting because the tablet will have a different view depending on the size of the screen compared to your computer. Okay. So yeah, and your phone will have another screen which is even smaller. So, but yes, that's so. What I want to do now is an experiment on my side as well. So is I've now shared my Zoom with you. Okay. So you've seen yourself on the screen now, are you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can now go through these tools on the bottom. So if, for argument's sake, you know, I click on one of these down here.
You muted yourself, Michael.
I wanted to show you that what I was doing. All right. So I want to show you now, other than the video and the Zoom, I want to show you different aspects of the basics. Okay. So if I've already shown you this little icon here on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay. That's the reactions, but sometimes the screen's not big enough, there'll be that icon. Okay. And you can see that you can click and raise a hand like I've raised a hand, and then you can click on it again and the hand comes down. Okay.
What are those arrows for?
Sorry, Ada?
Those arrows above the raising the hand.
Okay. These here?
Right there, yeah. What?
Those again, if I said, you know, am I talking too fast or too slow? You know, you can click and you see if you've got the participants open there on the participant side, you'll see that it's come up there. Okay, there is a setting where you can actually default to have it on that side. Okay, you know, otherwise you can click it the other way, obviously, you know, and so that's what that is. So
I
use
have a
that.
question.
Yeah, sure.
This is Myra.
Hello,
what you-
Mark.
Good morning. Good morning. That was easy. But,
Yeah, good morning is right. It is morning here.
okay.
Okay.
Earlier you mentioned that the easiest way to unmute oneself is to press on the space bar.
Yes.
Okay. So just one click and then you're unmuted during the time that you speak. And then how do you then so you click again and then you mute just
No.
Okay.
No. You've got to hold the space bar down while you're talking.
Okay.
Then when you let go, it then mutes you.
All right. That's what I thought you said, but I wanted to be sure. Okay.
That's fine.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Absolutely welcome.
Oh, this is the way you do it.
There we are. That's great. Okay. It makes it easier, doesn't it, Earl?
Yes, it does.
Actually, it does, and that's interesting because, okay, we're in the Zoom class, but a lot of time is taken up with muting up and unmuting during the class. Oh, you gotta unmute yourself. You're not unmuted. You're unmuted. So we have to wait and find out. And as the lady stated, sometimes folks can't find the button. So yeah, but if you just everyone knew about the space bar, that would solve a lot. But of course, you'd have to remember to hold it down. But even still, that's actually simpler.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you've learned something. Okay,
Yes.
right. We're back to the bottom of the screen now. As I said, I'm sharing my Zoom screen. You won't necessarily have the breakout rooms because that's more advanced, and we have advanced classes that talk about breakout rooms where if you take advanced class, we'll actually go into different breakout rooms where you can talk to groups within that particular room. Okay, this is recording. It's busy recording at the moment, and if you're a host, there will be the word record down there. If you're not the host, you may or may not have the word. If you've got the word, you can click on it now, and you will see that it won't allow you to record. Okay, especially with Dwayne. Because she's got two devices. Okay. But it's somebody else host, and I haven't shared permission for somebody else to record. Okay, and it's a setting. That's all it is, and I'll show you where the settings are. Then before we come to the share a screen, there is your chat page, and you click on that, and if you've got a full screen, it will float around your screen and you can move it around. I've got it attached to the right of my screen because I've minimized the size of my screen, not minimized, reduced the size of my screen, and it then comes up on the right. So that's the chat page. Then we've got something here that are the polls. It's also advanced, and we have it's part of our advanced class on how to poll people, do a survey, and about whatever you happen to be talking about would be there. You would click it, and I do a survey when I'm teaching the top apps on the internet, and I then want to know which one the attendees think is appropriate. Okay. So we'll just close that. And then the participants, you see here, if you click on that, my participants disappear. And if I click on it again, the participants reappear, a list of the participants, and whether they've got their microphones muted or not muted, whether they've got their videos on or off, shows in that participants section there. Okay. Now I want to show you, you see just on the right of the participants. Okay, you need to see that. So look, can you see it? Just nod your head. Then that's okay, great. Then you invite. So you click invite, And now, because I'm using live, we're going to, let's just use that and do that. Okay. Now, what would happen, you've got these options. If you can just click on contacts, and the contacts that have been in Zoom before, you can click on them and say, send them an invitation. Zoom rooms, we're not doing, but you could send an invitation by email. Okay. And you can now go to your default email, and whatever it is, if your default is Gmail, you click on there and it'll give you an option to go to Gmail. Otherwise, it'll just use the Zoom's default email and put in the link and the invitation that we saw at the beginning of this class. Okay, it'll type it out. All you've got to do is fill in the contacts' email addresses, and you can put in as many as you like, but obviously you need to put in at least one. Now, the other option of inviting, other than via email that you see there, is you can copy an invite link. You see at the bottom left hand of the screen. Now, what that will do will just copy the URL. It has your room number built in and everything. It'll have no words with it. Okay, it won't say, Dwayne has invited you to a meeting to talk about knitting or anything like that. It'll just be that link. Okay. But if you want to send an invitation to make it, then click on the right one next to that. You can see there. Okay. If you click on that, then there will be an invitation, and you will be able to copy that to your device, whichever device you're using, to the clipboard in that device, and you can paste it anywhere you want to. Okay, you can paste it in Messenger, on WhatsApp, on Telegram, onto Skype, onto an email. You can paste it anywhere where you'd normally be able to paste something. Okay, and then it'll have the full invitation as well, with the dates and things like that. In the invitation. And often you want people to join you almost immediately. There might be 2 or 3 of you in a meeting, and you suddenly think, yeah, it'd be great if we could get Earl in on this meeting. And so you quickly send Earl a link and ask him to come in to this current meeting. Okay, so I'm going to click the top right hand there, the X, and to take that down. Are there any questions about how we showed at the beginning on slides the scheduling, how to schedule? Okay, you've now seen how to just invite people, and you can also invite people from the participant screen. You see the participant screen. If you've clicked on that, there's a little word invite, and if you click, you get taken to the same screen. Okay, exact same screen. So you can invite from there, or you can invite from elsewhere. Okay, doesn't make any difference. Just 2 places that you can do. Okay, any questions about that? Any clarity that you want? Because you're going to be inviting people and you're going to be scheduling people. Okay.
Michael, this is Dwayne from my toolbar on the bottom when I'm hosting my meetings. I have never noticed a polling icon or a breakout room icon.
Yeah. Okay, you wouldn't have, because you haven't gone into zoom.us into your account and ticked it so that it shows. Okay.
Oh, so can you show me a screen of where I go to click on that?
I probably could, but also keep in mind that the polls is not in the free version. Okay.
Oh no, I paid for it, so
okay, that's great. All right.
Yeah.
What I will do is, let me see if I can do this. Let's just see if this is going to work. Hang on, it won't be a minute. I'm going to zoom.us. And can you see my screen, my white screen?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the Zoom coming up on the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. I've never done this before, so this is a learning curve for me. I told you I learned too. Okay, so you see, I'm just going to show you, this is where for the others, I know that, Dwayne, you've already got a paid version, but if you click the prices there, you can see there's the free version and what it offers. And then the other versions over here, there's the pro version at that price, and there's a business version at that price, and there's an unlimited business version at that price. And then each one has different aspects, and you have to click on them to get the detail of which one actually does that. Okay, but then in order to get your settings, I'm going to click on my icon there, and let's just go, and you would have to then go to settings on your profile, and now you would have to go down until you find it, but this is where you will find it. Okay, I'm not sure. You see all these settings, you need to work yourself through this, particularly if you've got a paid version, because then you've got all the options. Okay,
Sure.
You can see enable personal meeting room and so forth. Okay, and one goes down what to do with the chat pages as well, and whether people can co-host and so forth as well. And I'm just going to go down it by chance. There we are, meeting polls. There it is. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. See, you've got yours will be off, I'm sure. Okay, so you need to click that. Yours probably looks like that, as that one has looked now. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
So I've just clicked it back on again, and that's where it is. All right. So,
Excellent. Thank you so much.
it's a pleasure. I'm glad that worked. As I said, I'm learning too. So be it. So let's see now if we can get ourselves. Oh yeah, we can get ourselves back. Okay. Earl, how are you doing? Okay. Ada, all right.
Yes, good.
Okay. And Myra, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm using my space bar too.
Good.
I'm doing myself, so thank you very much.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
more time to watch it, the more interesting it gets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, the last thing we're going to do, which I'm going to show you how to share a screen. Okay. You will see this green square down here. You click on that. Okay. Now, what happens is your desktop comes up here. Now, normally, nobody will be able to see it. Okay, you can see it because I'm sharing my Zoom. Okay, and so whatever is open on your desktop will show up here for you privately in order to select whatever you want. Okay, so although you can go searching by going to advanced and files, it's better just at the beginning to open whatever file you want to share. So if you want to share a PowerPoint file, then open it and then minimize it on your, whatever is minimized on your desktop, on your screen. I'm not sure if you have different words for it. Will come up like this. You'll see these. You can see I've got an Excel spreadsheet open but minimized. Okay, even my directory is minimized and open. Okay, and so forth. So you can click on any of them, and the one you click on is going to have this thick bar around there. So I have now clicked. When you click on that particular one that I have, it shows whatever I'm looking at, regardless, and I can look at other things at the same time. Okay, but be that as it may, you actually getting a live example right now by me doing what I'm doing. You can go on to advanced, And then there's something else here, which is very interesting. We're really getting into advanced, but I think Earl is probably enjoying it. You can create if you've got let's say you're in a meeting, all right, and you've got to present a PowerPoint slides, okay? Now, you can do that just by, as I said earlier, just by opening and then clicking on it. Let's say it's here, and it will come up, okay? And you can now share it like I shared the slides before the meeting. But if you go to advanced, you can now share the PowerPoint as a virtual background, and your virtual background can be your slides that you want to present, okay? And then what happens is your face, your image comes in front of the screen, okay? So it's very different. It's a different presentation, and it's an ideal way if you're going to go through slides only. And but then you'd have to change your view on Zoom as well to make sure that they're not seeing you twice, okay? And but anyway, that would, but they'd certainly see you in front. And if you're going to go to files, you can go and find a file on one of those aspects. Let's go back to basics. Okay, so you click on what you want to. There must be a big blue frame around it, and then you click share. Okay, I'm already sharing that, so I'm not going to click share again. And then we're back to there. Now, that does bring us to the end of the class, unless we've got some questions. Doesn't matter if it's a detailed question. I will attempt to answer it because we have the time, and it might just be of interest to other people as well. No questions. You all wanting to go to bed, aren't you?
I need to get into it and play around with it.
I agree. You really do.
Yeah.
And Ada, the other thing, and I think all of you will find this interesting in the light of Ada's comment, and that is you can, when you're not got a scheduled meeting, you're not going into a meeting, you just open up your app and you click start a new meeting, and you go into your Zoom meeting. Now, there's nobody there. You're not inviting anybody. You can press record, okay? And now you can practice, or you can a video that you want to put onto YouTube, perhaps. All right. So you now do a video, and you can use virtual backgrounds, and you can use PowerPoint as your slides, and you can record it all by yourself. Okay. And it's that way you can also experiment. Okay.
Right.
Now you can go and click on share and see what happens. Click on participants, see what happens. Click on the various icons and see what happens. And then nobody. And then after you just you can look at it if you want to. You don't have to record it. It can just be practice without any recording. And then you close down and it's gone. And you've had the experience of doing it.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes, Myra.
This is regarding the free accounts. And you mentioned earlier that you're limited to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you also are limited to the amount of participants too. Is that not right?
No, you can, limited, if you're talking big numbers, you're limited to maybe 100 or something, but on the free account. But no, you can go, I've had 25, I think, as my own personal people on one meeting of my personal account, not the Zoom. The Get Set Up, I'm on Get Set Up now. So they, of course, got a paid version, and I'm a guide for Get Set Up. So, but on my private Zoom, you're not. I don't think you'll find a limit. If it is, it's quite a big number, but you are limited to 40 minutes, regardless of the numbers above 2 people being in the room.
Okay. No. The reason I said it because I understood that you were limited to 100 people for.
Yeah. there is a limit when it gets to those sort of numbers. So it could be 100. I think it is possibly 100. That number comes to my mind. So, but certainly we can Google it and
Yeah, and certainly, as you just mentioned, as you just suggested, I'm going to go in and play around with it because I'm actually considering getting a paid account.
okay.
Yeah, in order to host meetings. There was a situation where I was involved with a memorial, and there was 100 of us on the memorial, and we were waiting for it to start. What's going on? What's the delay? And the host came in and said that he was trying to add folks and couldn't do it. You see, because more than one.
Sorry, talk a bit louder. Talk a bit louder, Mara. You're getting softer and softer.
Oh, okay. Can you
That's
hear me
much better.
Okay. So 100 people were already on the memorial service, but more wanted to join, and he couldn't add them. And so, we're in the midst of this. Of course, it was the first time I had ever experienced a memorial via Zoom. So we were just like, "Oh my goodness!" Oh, anyway. So later, I was told that there was a limit to 100. But
Oh, good.
but
Yeah.
perhaps I'm getting this mixed up. Perhaps he indeed had a paid account. But okay. Anyway, I just wanted to ask that. So
Yeah, that's great.
I
And you
don't have
could
my facts together. Yeah.
well, thanks for doing that, because then the thought that came to me was correct, 100. But yeah, the paying accounts, go and examine them, on where we were looking at, on here, up at the top up here, and examine what each one offers. And what we do, if there's a group of us, and there is every Saturday afternoon, in fact, a group of us that interact. And if we go beyond 40 minutes, we then all just close down, open up again, and come in on the same invitation. And then you can go for another 40 minutes, okay? But you actually have to get out and then come back, okay? So that's an option. But
Yes,
have a look.
I've heard that to do that as well, and that's great to know. That's
Yeah,
very great to know.
yeah, no, it is. All right.
Those prices that we just saw, are those one-time prices or the
No.
subscription like a year or whatever?
Yeah, there it is there. It says $149.90 a year for a license there. Okay.
Okay,
So each one's for a year. Yeah.
okay.
And yeah, so there on this first one for $150, you would get 1,000 participants that you could have. Okay, I see it there. Yeah. And there we are. There's the 100 participants for the free one. Yeah. And you had seen it somewhere, but
Yeah.
just subconsciously you pick it up, I think. And
Now, Michael, under 149.90, the first bullet says host up to 100 participants, and the second bullet says increase participants up to 1,000. I don't understand how. Does that mean you can only have 100 participants, but your contact list can be up to 1,000?
I've never gone into this, but my logic tells me that you can start with 100 going up. And I would imagine that if you click on one of these things like large meetings, optional add-on plans, okay, add-on plans, okay, large meetings, $600 per year by now. So yeah, one's got to examine it, and certainly somebody that does the advanced Zoom class currently now in March, I'm sure they would probably cover that, and I'll cover it in my advance. I'll research this. So jump on in about a month's time, and I'll let you know. You could probably tell me by then.
Well, I doubt that I'll be doing that volume, but I was curious.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, are there any more last questions? I'm just going to stop sharing, but I'm still here, so I can still see you. And thank you very much indeed for a most enjoyable. I really enjoyed this lesson. It's been great. And go to bed well. I'll have my lunch.
Thank you so much, Michael. This filled in some of the blank spots for me. So thank you very much.
Good. Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks,
Well,
Ada.
It's been real enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Earl. Okay,
Thank
then.
you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.